Hi, this is Deacon John Wilson, Education Enrichment Director for West Angeles Church, here with another one of our talks with one of my students.
Hi everyone, my name's Olivia.
So Olivia, you came out of which high school?
St. Mary's Academy.
Over there in Inglewood. And how did you first get involved in our program? What do you remember about starting in our program?
I remember joining the Health Careers program with Miss Fisher, and that really helped my resume. And in the long term, now that I work
Yeah.
at the hospital, I feel like it really helped me in gaining that hospital experience, even though it was just volunteer work back then.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I want to talk about that a little more in a minute too. Well, I forgot about that. So hold on, let's back up. When you were in high school, how'd you end up in our education enrichment program? It's like you showed up in high school. I helped you with your colleges, didn't I?
yes, I had heard about the program through high school, and I can't really
Me neither.
yeah, I don't
Maybe I
really.
came to speak at the school, somebody told you.
Yeah, I think I would have. I had heard it word of mouth,
Christina, maybe?
possibly. I don't
Yeah, I
recall.
don't recall either. All right.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I just knew it was very. I heard very great reviews, and I just remember everyone saying great things about the center.
and that's how you heard about Sonoma State. You might have went on a tour with me, or something happened that made you know about some. Did they come speak? Chuck Rhodes or somebody? Did somebody come and speak? How'd you find out about Sonoma State?
Sonoma State, I believe it was from the tour that we took
Okay.
from the group. Yeah,
Mhm.
we collectively took a group out to Sonoma State, and it was the same students that we had taken classes with through the youth center, and it didn't feel so much alone because I didn't know anyone, so
Oh,
it still felt like home because I was with my classmates or with the students I had been going through the program with. So that really helped. And NorCal is completely different, so it didn't completely unwelcome me.
yeah. I think we went with pretty large groups in those days, 7, 8 students sometimes. Because I was always worried about the shuttle bus because there were
Yeah,
a
exactly.
lot of people. That's good. And you visited the campus. What was your first impression?
It was my first impression was that it was, I don't know, it was hard to tell that people were nice, unexpectedly nice, and I wasn't used to that. I mean, I'm used to people being nice to me, but it just felt like a different environment that I wasn't used to. It was very calm, not busy or rushed like LA is. So that was a huge culture shock for me.
True. Yeah, that's true. It's in the suburbs. It's out. It's not in Oakland or in San Francisco. It's out in the suburbs, deep suburbs.
Right. Yeah.
What's that little city? Santa Rosa's nearby, but that's
Santa Rosa.
not a
Yeah.
huge town. That's a good point about how that came. I've forgotten that aspect. It is very peaceful. When I go
Hmm.
out there, I usually, when I stay an extra day, I hang around the water over there. I told you that. That little pond over there.
Oh yeah.
Nobody thinks about that, but I do. So you went to Sonoma State and got through there in good shape. What challenges did you have of getting through college, getting through Sonoma that you overcame? You overcame a lot of challenges.
I would say the environment, maybe like finding a home, like a club that would
Mm-hmm.
kind of understand your background. And I felt like EOP really understood that because
Yeah.
they advocated for first generation students. And I remember going to classes with some of my classmates, and they didn't know what like FAFSA was. And just, I didn't really feel like a sense of belonging without EOP because my advisors and like Andre at
Oh
Sonoma State
yeah, I
really,
forgot about Andre and those dudes.
yeah, he really helped me with even classes I was unable to get, and I was not the straight A student, so he really advocated for me in getting those classes
That's
and
right.
into my major.
Mm-hmm. What did your major end up being? I wanted people to know that. What's your major from Sonoma?
It was kinesiology with a concentration in occupational therapy.
So you got through the science classes. That was an achievement.
Yes.
I thought so.
Mhm.
And came out of Sonoma State, good shape. And then you mentioned the connection with the folks over at H&R. You got you tell me about getting your CNA. Talk about that. Because that's kind of like another achievement. I don't know if you ever, because I view it that way. I don't know if you do. Got a degree. I think I was messing around with the other day. I said, Olivia Vila, BS CNA.
Oh, right.
You're the youngest person with 2 credentials that I ever knew. So go ahead, talk about the second one, the CNA. Go ahead, you were getting into that a little bit. Go ahead.
I was so I had been working throughout the pandemic at the hospital, and I was still new to the workforce in the hospital setting because I was used to volunteering. And I had not known about the union and how that played out, but I reached out to HR and I noticed my position was union based. So because I had been working there for a while, the union paid for the CNA course. So
Yeah,
long as I
that's
still work
quite a
there.
break for you. What a break
Yeah, it's
that was.
just
Go ahead.
yeah, it was different for me. So as long as I had been working there, they were willing to pay, the union was willing to pay for the CNA course. So they paid for everything. And I got to
Now that was a
do
union at which hospital was that? St. Francis?
that was at St. Francis.
Yeah, they do things like that over there. That's
Yeah.
all right.
What
You went to that
what's
program and you got your CNA, right?
mhm.
I mean, you didn't seem, were you excited or what? I was more excited than you.
I was definitely excited.
Okay,
I
good.
feel like it opened doors right away than my undergrad degree. I know I couldn't understand at the time, but because a 4-year degree, I would feel like it weighs more or has more of a value than a certification. But I realized through job hunting and applying that I had more job opportunities with the certification, and to like m- more well-known hospitals.
Well, you'll be glad to know that it was because of you and 3 other students that I came to the conclusion that we must, while we're in college, have a parallel path that's bouncing off that degree to help us. And I think that that degree you got will come in handy with you later. In the next step you take, you're going to see that it's going
Mhm,
to come in handy for you as you move along in your career. And
mhm.
what are you thinking for the near future now?
For the near future, I would say I've come to decide nursing. Before it was occupational therapy, but then going through clinicals, I realized that that path wasn't for me. I really enjoyed the hospital setting, and although OT does provide that hospital setting, it was very limiting in certain areas versus nursing is a lot more flexible to grow in different levels or areas.
Wow, good answer. I learned something from that. Good. Now I want to go back for a second, just for a second, to Sonoma.
Mhm.
What jobs did you have on campus?
For Sonoma, okay, my first job at Sonoma,
Your first job?
I was in culinary at the CAF.
No,
Yeah,
I didn't know that when I visited that time and you were over there.
I was a little embarrassed,
That's cool.
but I mean, it is what it is.
What else do you do at Sonoma? Anything else?
So I did that, and then I was a receptionist at, they called it the Lark Center, the learning, I forgot what it stands for, but the Lark Center.
Mhm.
And then what else did I do? Then there was like some other tutoring center that was similar to the Lark. And then they had moved it to the library. I'm forgetting the name to it, but it was similar work, reception work. And
You
oh,
can-
and then outside of campus, I did catering. There's this lady who
yes,
recruited.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
Go ahead.
she recruited Sonoma State students to work for catering events, and that was pretty helpful with
Marlon,
only students.
wasn't one of my other, did Imani work for her too?
I think so, yeah.
My cat wants to be on film here. Yeah, Imani worked there too. She was a contemporary with you there at Sonoma.
Yeah.
So, all right, so you were pretty busy when you were on campus. You're pretty busy.
Here and there, yeah, with mostly with the on-campus clubs.
Yes. How important do you think that is for students?
I feel like it was very important, learning to see which clubs correlated with my major and how that would, play off in the long run. I was involved in the student health center. So I feel like I was vice president of the health center. And I feel like that.
This you held there, you were vice president. Okay, go ahead.
Mhm. I feel like it really helped me in the long run with my experience, because during my interviews or past interviews rather, they had pointed that out, that experience, and to allow me to speak more on that area. So I feel like that really helped. And then there was another health, I forgot the name, but there was this other health club that was kind of like the student health club, but they worked they worked together. I'm forgetting the name here, but I feel like they very much helped with networking and learning how to build your resume, things like that.
Wow. One more question I want to ask you. Now, when the pandemic hit, there's all the negatives with it, but two questions. How did you kind of stay up in the pandemic? You know, a lot of students hadn't come out of it so well. You came out really running. Did you go, at what point did you go to work? What did you do to keep yourself from falling into any kind of a disabling depression?
That's a good question. I would say
I'm going to get you in touch with that.
I would say well, I'm very faith-based, and that's what drew me to the youth center as well, because that I feel like staying connected with God and my faith really helped alleviate certain stressful situations, and allowed me to not worry so much, even if I had COVID patients, because at one point all my patients were COVID, and me being scared that I would bring home the virus.
Normal. Can't be afraid of that. Go ahead.
And I'm not, like, I was always careful, but there's only so much you could do, being careful in the hospital. But I feel like faith really drove me to that peaceful direction, and knowing that everything will be okay no matter what.
Wow. I kind of know you say that, but you didn't say it the way I thought you would. Wow. Well, I want to tell you that as we close here, folks, this is a really great student. I hope you got a good look at what a Sonoma State student seems like, but also the relationship to career parents and the way we view career. I hope you get a sense of that. I want to thank you for looking at this video. Remember to click subscribe and then hold it down for notifications. And my email address will be on the last panel of this video as well. Get a hold of me if you're interested in learning more about our programs. Any last thoughts there, Olivia?
No, that's pretty much it.
All right. God bless you all. Bye-bye now.
Bye.